I have stupid people saying stupid things to me that just blows my mind, because they obviously don't understand how to look at things. They don't understand how to research things. So let's break this down a little bit, just a small bit. I'm not going to be taking any comments on this video. Obviously, you can see that I'm driving, which is also why I'm not looking at the camera. So, we're going to break this down. Somebody wrote me and said, do you support pedophilia in the case of Roy Moore, but all of a sudden you're against pedophilia when it comes to Chuck Schumer? Well, let's break that down just a little bit. Let's just only break down simply the facts. A woman came out against Roy Moore, said that he attempted to have sexual relations with her when she was 14, 15 years old while she was in high school. 1 week later, she was on MSNBS, and she completely recanted her entire story and said that she didn't actually remember whether or not he had even had physical contact with her. She couldn't remember whether or not he had even shook her hand. Now it comes out 30 days later that she forged the yearbook, that she wrote it in there herself, which completely discredits this woman's entire story, because the day she came out, she had such vivid detail you could have written a movie about it. But yet, a week after all of that vivid detail, which is also after 40 years, now she can't remember anything actually happening. Now she comes out that she actually forged the yearbook. Now, mind you, this is a yearbook that supposedly Roy Moore signed in Christmas of 1977. This is a yearbook that was not printed until April of 1978. So unless Roy Moore has a DeLorean sitting in his garage and was able to achieve 88 miles an hour activating his flux capacitor, I seriously doubt Roy Moore signed that yearbook. Now let's move on over to good old Chucky Schumer. Mr. Chucky here paid off a woman with $2 million to shut her up and for her to go away after he had sexual relations with this woman's daughter, who was 16 years old, which was his 16-year-old daughter's friend. Then, further bringing proof into these allegations are medical records showing where Chuck Schumer had her achieve 2 abortions from children that he fathered with this woman. And you're going to tell me that these 2 stories are the same? You're going to tell me that they have equal amounts of proof? Are you seriously that stupid? That you're going to tell me that a woman who forged someone else's signature, who fabricated a story, is just as credible as medical records? Really? You need to learn what facts are. You need to understand what allegations are. You need to understand how facts apply to things. When you have medical records, when you have bank transactions of $2 million, nobody pays somebody $2 million to go away unless they did something wrong. And especially doing it in a way to keep it out of the courts. Blows my mind, absolutely blows my mind, at the weak and feeble-minded intelligence of some people simply looking at a news article headline and believing that you already know the full story, simply because it supports the narrative that you support. Don't blame me that you are a bleeding heart communist. Don't blame me that you support socialism in the United States while claiming that you can't understand how a tax system could give a $1,000 child tax credit to a family that makes $500,000 a year, but only a $500 tax credit to a woman who makes $18,000 a year as a single mother. Don't blame me that you can't seem to figure out how that math works, okay? Because I'll break it down for you here pretty simple, and this isn't even the purpose of the video. This just goes to the unintelligence and the lack of critical thinking that exists in America today. Okay? You have a single mom with a single child. She makes $18,000 a year. She's a waitress. She has a 0 tax burden in the United States because her tax bracket that she falls in is a 0% tax bracket. Though she will get a $500 child tax credit for her child, she will also get earned income credit. She will get a significant tax refund on zero taxes paid. Understand that. Zero taxes paid, she will get money back. She gets paid for being poor, okay? Family of 4, husband and wife, 2 children. They make $500,000 a year. They get a $1,000 child tax credit for each child. They pay over 30% in taxes. They pay taxes. Over 30% in taxes. They pay over 30% of $500,000 in taxes. And you're going to lose your mind over the fact that they're going to get a $1,000 child tax credit for each child that they have? Mind you this. Let me just go into one more little piece. Last year, single mom with that one child that made $18,000 a year as a waitress. She had a $12,000 standard deduction on her tax income. This year, she'll have a $24,000 standard deduction. Her standard deduction doubled from $12,000 to $24,000. And you can't seem to understand how this new tax plan benefits her more than it benefits that family that makes $500,000 a year, who, by the way, can't write off half of the things they wrote off last year. And you call yourself a critical thinker. You say that you understand how to do simple math. I'm not even doing any kind of long division. I mean, this is very simple addition, subtraction, and even a little bit of multiplication. This does not take a freaking brain surgeon to figure out. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand this stuff. You need to be able to do 5th grade math. And if you can do 5th grade math, you can understand Donald Trump's tax plan. You just actually have to do your research. You have to stop reading the New York Times and the Washington Post and CNN and MSNBS and start doing your own research. Get on whitehouse.gov and read the legislation. Get on the Library of Congress and read this legislation. Get on a government website and read this legislation. I understand it's going to be a little bit dry, but hey, you say that you're a critical thinker and you can figure this crap out. So go for it. Figure this crap out. Read it. Read the legislation. Don't sit there and sit there and give all your stupid little opining comments about how, oh, this is evil, oh, that's evil. You don't even know what's in it because you've never read it. That's like sitting there claiming, oh, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God, but I've never read the Bible, so I don't know if he's actually real. Maybe you should read the Bible first before you claim to be an atheist. Maybe you should read the Bible and understand how all this stuff was created before you sit there and say that it was all done by pure accident. Yes, everything that you see living and breathing today, walking the face of this earth with all of the intelligence, is all by pure accident. It could have all just been one big whoops. Yes. Yes. It is just as stupid as it sounds. Yes, atheism is stupid. It's a retarded argument. I apologize for using that word, but it is what it is. Atheism is a stupid argument. So unless you're going to come at me to argue, you wanna bring all of your little opining comments into this arena here. You better have your facts straight. You better do your research, and you better bring some kind of research that says something other than the Washington Post. I want to see a .gov address behind your research. When you sit there and say that, oh, this is evil, that's evil, this tax plan is not actually going to benefit anybody, you better bring me a .gov address with your evidence, because if you bring me something that says the New York Times, I'm going to eat you alive up one side and down the other side. I do not have time to waste my breath on idiotic people. Y'all be good. I hope everybody has a blessed day.